Hi guys, welcome to my channel today. Okay, so these are the measurements you'll be needing to make corsets. This corset class, you'll be needing your ruler, marker, your pattern, your scissors. Okay, your pattern is very important, and of course other essentials such as your tape, your sellotape, your eraser, your pencil, and of course very important, your pattern. If you don't know how to make this pattern, I will link it in the description box. Okay, we've gone over that video, so you're going to learn it there. So we're going to be using this pattern, and what I am going to be doing right now is to trace out my front and also trace out my back. So just stay tuned to this class. Thank you guys so much for the subscriptions, the likes, the comments. I appreciate it so much. It's so encouraging. Thank you. We are growing. So I'm going to be tracing out this pattern, my front piece. Okay, I will use my ruler to align it. Okay, so that's just basically what I'm going to do, or what I'm doing right here. I'm just tracing out my pattern. Okay, and this is what we have. Okay, I'll also go ahead and trace out the back as well. Okay, remember this back already has zipper allowance, so I'm tracing it out with the zipper allowance, but I'm going to be eliminating that because we're making a corset and we don't need a zipper allowance. So I'm notching that zipper part, okay, because I'm going to be eliminating it out. Okay, so do that when making yours, and if you can just get your pattern without a zipper allowance, perfect. Okay, so that's just what I'm doing. I'm ruling out my zipper allowance. Okay, and I'm just going to rule it out because I'm not going to be using it. If you don't understand this, okay, just go and watch that video on how I did my basic bodice pattern and you are going to understand perfectly well. Okay, so this is what we have now for our front and our back. Now on my front, I'm going to mark my shoulder to bust point. I'll mark my shoulder to under bust, and the rest is my shoulder to waist. Okay, and then I'll mark my shoulder to neckline because I'm going to be using these measurements. I'll also reflect it at the edge just so I can get a very straight, squared line, a perfect straight line. So I'm going to just connect these lines, these dots that I made. Okay, so that's just it. And then remember we drew that, so I'm going to be eliminating that bulge from dots that we drew. Okay, so I'm just going to be eliminating it. That's basically what I'm doing here. Okay, and then I'm going to label my lines, very important, just so you can understand. Now on my under bust line, I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple point, or my bust span. Okay, and I also did that on my waist, and then I'll connect it on a straight line. Okay, now I'm going over to my chest line. You can do this on your chest line, you can do it on your bust point line. It all depends on how deep you want your corset, that center area. It depends on how deep you want it to be, so you can choose wherever to place this measurement. Okay, it's all up to you. So I placed mine on my chest line. I don't want it to be too deep. Okay, so I placed it on my chest line. What I marked there was just 0.75, and then with my pencil, I'm using a pencil because I want to freestyle my curve. You can use your pattern master to make your curve, but I'm very good at freestyling, so I'm using my pencil. And why I'm using pencil, so if I make a mistake I can easily erase it off. But you can see my curve is perfect, so you can go ahead and use your pencil too and erase when necessary. Now on my chest line, you can see I'll mark 1 inch here, and then on the under bust I'll mark 1 inch as well, and then I'll come out by half an inch. You see the reason why I did this. Now I'm connecting the points. Okay, and then I'll connect the half-inch mark to my bust point. The first was to the chest line, the second was to the bust point. You can see how I did it. Okay, you don't need to be confused, it's very easy. All right, so right now on my under bust, I'm going to mark 0.25 on both sides. All right, 0.25 on both sides, and on my waist I'll mark half inch. Okay, this half inch is because my dart, remember when we drafted our pattern, we used 1 inch dart allowance. So it's all up to you. If you use 1.5, so you share the dart. Okay, so I use 1 inch, and that's why I marked ½ inch on both sides, because I'm eliminating the dart. This is a corset, we don't need that, we don't need extra allowances in it. So I just went ahead and connected it. Now on that under bust, okay, I'm just going to mark in between my bust band. I'm going to mark not up to 0.25 inch, okay, just half of 0.25. That's what I marked there, and that is where I'm going to be connecting this curve to, okay, to the new points. Do you understand? So just go ahead and do it, and then I'll just go ahead and redraw my pencil lines with my marker, just so you can see clearly. All right, now starting from that half of 0.25 that I marked, I'm going to take my curve direct to that point, because that's where the curve is going to be starting from. Okay, it's not starting from that lines that I took from the underbust for the waist. No, now starting from that point, I'm going to take my darts for my cup. Okay, now I'm going to start and take 1 inch. Okay, so that's just basically what I'm marking. Don't worry, when I connect the lines with my marker, you're going to see clearly what I'm talking about. All right, so now I'm going to also freestyle from our new point. I'm going to freestyle with my pencil. Once again, you can use your pattern master to make your curve, but I'm good at freestyling, guys, so I'm freestyling, and wherever I make mistake, I just erase it and go over ahead. I will actually advise you to use your pencil when making this curve. Then you can go ahead and use your marker to redraw your lines. Okay, so guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you can get notifications for anytime I post. All right, you're going to be learning a whole lot. Okay, this video is basically on cutting. So what I'm doing now is I'm just placing my nipple to nipple points on my bust point line now, and I'm just going to connect it on a straight line to my neck line. Okay, my neckline is same as my shoulder to my cleavage, where my cleavage started. Okay, now I'm going to be connecting those dots I made. Okay, I'll connect to that not up to 0.25 inch I marked, and then back to the 1 inch. I marked ½ inch on both sides, so that's what I'm connecting it back to. All right, so now I'm going to be connecting from where I made the depth of my cup. I'll connect it to the neckline. Just watch what I'm doing and just do it. It's very easy. Once again, I'm going back to my pencil because I want to freestyle. You can use your pattern master, okay, to make a curve, but I like freestyling. I'm very good at it. So I'll go ahead and use my marker to go over it again so you can see very clearly. So we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. You can see. I'm pretty sure you've not seen this method of cutting, but don't worry, you're going to love the outcome at the end. Okay, if you tried this pattern, don't forget to tag me to it. You can post in our group. Okay, you can see right there, Vivi Fashion Group. Okay, so I'm marking ½ inch on both sides. Okay, and then I'm connecting it just this way. Okay, that's just more like contouring my cup. Okay, for someone who's with a bigger bust, you might want to contour it more. Okay, so now remember this 1 inch we did to align our back and front pattern. We're going to be adding it now. Okay, just follow the process of what I did, and then I'll connect it. Okay, so when we close it, we transfer our dart to the cup area. Okay, so that's just what we're going to be, and this upper part will be our yoke. All right, so that's basically it. Now for your cup, you can decide to reduce your cup. It's all up to you. You can decide to reduce your cup, but I don't like my corset showing my cleavage. Okay, so it's up to you. If you want it more exposing, you can bring it down. It's just all up to you. You can bring it down to wherever you want it to. Okay, so that's just it. But me, I like to work with just where my cleavage starts. Okay, now this is our yoke. I'm just labeling it so we'll know. Okay, and that's just basically it. Now I'm going to be ruling out the areas we are going to be cutting out. Okay, that's just what I'm doing here. So you go ahead and do it, so when you want to cut yours, you won't be confused. So now we're moving over to our back piece. Okay, remember we've eliminated this zipper allowance, so we're not working with it, we're just working with our main body measurements. So this is what we have, and I'm marking my nipple points. Okay, so that's just it. That's my bust span. Okay, my bust span, I'm marking my bust span on a straight line, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it on a very straight line. That's the reason why you should mark it on your chest line and on your waist as well. Now I'm going to take my darts, and I'm taking 1/2 inch on both sides because that's the dart we added to this pattern. Okay, so I just go ahead and connect it on a straight line. Please guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my videos. Okay, at the back part, I can decide to go back by 1 inch. You can go as low as you want. You can also decide to leave it straight. It's all up to you, but I want to have a very nice shape at that area. Now I'm going to take 2 inches. Okay, I'll mark this on all across and then connect it. This is going to be our cutout for our lacing. Okay, you know, we're going to lace it. It's a corset, it's supposed to have a lacing at the back, so that's just basically what I'm doing. This corset, you just have to cut it off so you can lace it. There are also corsets where you have to you already have an opening at the back after sewing, but this is not the method we are doing. This method is a cut out method. Okay, so that's just basically what I'm doing. I'm labeling it is lacing, so we're not going to be using that part. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to be closing my darts. I just want to close my darts. Okay, you can decide to cut it out and have 2 pieces at the back, but I don't want a 2 piece at the back. I just want to close it up. So it's just basically all up to you. Just go ahead and freestyle your thing. You know, fashion is creativity, so go ahead and do whatever makes you happy. So now I'm going to be cutting through my front as well. Okay, just follow through. You can see I'm transferring my dart. Okay, that's just what I'm doing here. I just transferred my dart, so I closed the side dart and then transferred it to the upper part of my cup. Okay, so that's just all, and then I'll go ahead and cut out all the areas that I had used zigzag marks on. Okay, so guys, I hope you're enjoying this video. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe. So this is what we have as our front bodice, and this is what I'm going to label it, so I'll know where my patterns are to be placed, you know, so you don't get confused. Very, very important. Okay, so that part will not be needing it, and this is where we're going to be putting you can use eyelets, you can use loops. It's all up to you. Now for our yoke, I can decide to freestyle it. Okay, I just want to make a freestyled neck line. Okay, so I'll just use what I cut off. Remember it was 2 inches, so I'll just mark it so I'll get a straight line, and then from that point I'm just going to connect it to my neck. Okay, that's just basically what I'm doing here, or what I did here. Okay, so, or you can decide to leave it and then make buttons. Okay, cover buttons to place there, so it's just all up to you. Okay, but for mine I'll be cutting it off. Okay, you can decide to leave it, it's still all up to you. I'm going to make another pattern that will have that too, so you can see. All right, so this is what we have now left as our back. Okay, with our yoke. Okay, and this is for our front with our yoke. Now if you don't want the yoke, you can just remove the yoke entirely. Okay, and have a corset without a yoke. See you next time. Bye.